Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, this is the one third of Bunk radio show. I'm here with Jack Adler and Connor Bertakis, and today we're going to be talking about the NBA. More specifically, do you think the Suns can repeat getting into the NBA Finals this season?
I mean, personally, I think it all depends on matchups. First it starts by getting to the Western Conference Finals, and if they face another Lakers team early, or they face maybe even a healthy Warriors team, a healthy Clippers team, it's gonna be tough because those teams are pretty good. But I think they could beat a team like the Utah Jazz, who I think they had a bit of a fluke season. Still a great team, but I think they were a bit of a fluke. I mean, it just depends on matchups. But I think they have a shot. But with an aging team, aging Chris Paul, I don't think they will.
Connor, do you agree?
Yeah, I'm going to have to say the same thing. It doesn't matter on the matchups they go against. I think they could lose against the Lakers, but I do think they could make it to the Western Conference Finals. But, Devin Booker, he's going to be balling out. He's going to be hungry. He wants that championship as well as Chris Paul. They all just want their ring that they have been wanting forever.
Where do you see Chris Paul's season in upcoming years? Do you think this is like one of his final seasons with the Suns, maybe even one of the final seasons in the NBA? Where do you see Chris Paul in the next 2 or 3 years?
I mean, Chris Paul did just sign an extension, so I think this might be his final contract. I mean, we can see he's definitely a shell of his former self. Still a great player, but he's definitely still a shell of his former self. I mean, Chris Paul, he doesn't have the greatest three-point shot, and that's gonna help. That's not gonna do the greatest down the stretch when the three-point shot is becoming the most important shot in basketball. So I think Chris Paul will still be a great player, but I don't think he'll be elite for so much longer.
Connor?
Yeah, I think this will be his final contract. Chris Paul, one of the best true point guards of all time. The passing he always had on the Clippers with Blake Griffin was something so exciting to watch. I really hope he gets a championship before he retires, but I think this is his last couple of years for him.
And where do you guys rank Devin Booker as top what in the league as it relates to young players? Like 25 or under.
He's one of the best, man. I mean, there's a lot of young players right now, and I think Devin Booker is definitely at the top of that list. I wouldn't say he's like an elite player yet in the NBA, but Devin Booker is definitely a superstar.
And that leads me to my next question. Where do you rank him as shooting guards in the NBA right now?
Shooting guards, Devin Booker is definitely a top 5 shooting guard. I mean, I don't think he is the best. He's not top 3 in my opinion, but he's definitely one of the best.
Connor, do you agree?
Yeah, I might have to say top 3. I think he might be like number 2 or like even maybe number 1 shooting guard in the league right now. He is just improving every year. He's scoring 20 to 30 points each game, and it's going to be phenomenal in the years to come.
Just in from my producer, Suns trade for Bradley Beal and send 2 first-round picks, 2 pick swaps, and 2 unknown players to the Wizards.
Wow. That is a blockbuster deal. I'm assuming there's no Devin Booker or Chris Paul in that deal, so that is the new big 3 of the Western Conference. And that will change my answer from a couple minutes ago. The Suns definitely have a shot to make the finals now.
They definitely have a shot to make the finals, you say?
I think they definitely do. I think now they stack up with all the top dogs in the West.
Do you agree, Connor?
Yeah, I'm going to have to disagree still. I don't think they'll be able to beat the Lakers. Bradley Beal, it's another shooting guard added to the team. They're sort of going to be a smaller team compared to the Lakers, and I think the Lakers will still.
And me personally, I definitely think they have a shot at the NBA Western Conference Finals. I don't think they can compete with the Lakers. But depending on who they traded, people are still forgetting they still have DeAndre Ayton, one of the best rising big men in the NBA, along with the veteran point guard and Chris Paul and Devin Booker. And just to add Bradley Beal, that adds so many levels of scoring and so much versatility. So depending on who they traded, I definitely think they have a spot in the finals. And last words, Jack?
Yeah, so what I would like to add is definitely what I saw in the finals. There was some nights when Booker was just going crazy, and there was some nights if Booker had a bit of an off night, now they got Bradley Beal to pick up the slack. And Chris Paul is not the best scorer, so when Chris Paul is not being aggressive and Devin Booker has an off night, now they got Bradley Beal. This will hurt their future a little bit, but I think they could still contend now.
Connor, do you have any last words before we end the...
Yeah, I think if Devin Booker, the one problem he might have is consistency. So I think if he nails that down, scores at least 20 points each game, I think they have a really good shot at being good this upcoming season.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for listening. This is Owen Chamberlain, Jack Adler, and Connor Bertakis, and thank you for listening to 1/3 Bunk Radio.